Hey third graders, we're going to start with your Monday video. So this week is going to be a little bit different. This week there is no school on Friday, so that's going to be a good thing for this week. We do need to talk about what you're going to do today because it's a little bit different than what we're doing in class. So on Thursday of last week, you guys did addition and subtraction and using the relationships to do them as inverse operations or to check it. The third graders at school, they went to a Camp Leopold demonstration. They did not get to do that. So I have that for them today. So what I'm going to let you guys do today is some practice adding. So we can do some of that today. You can't do enough adding. So let's do some. Let's try 371 plus 306. Now this one does not involve any kind of carrying. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 0 is 7. 3 plus 3 is 6. So my answer is 677. So those are the pretty easy ones. You don't have to carry on these. You just have to add straight down. So let's try another one. So let's do 456 plus 272. Okay, starting our ones column, 6 plus 2 is 8. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put my 2, carry my 1. 4 plus 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Sorry, 728. Okay, let's do another. Remember, we can't have too much practice with this. We're going to keep using adding in everything we do right now, so you do need to make sure you keep practicing so that you're up to date with it. Let's do 986 plus 543. Okay, bigger numbers here. 6 plus 3 is 9. Nothing to carry. 8 plus 4 is 12. Put my 2, carry my 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. So I just drop my 15 straight down, 1,529. Okay, so that's what you're going to do today. You're going to have a little worksheet where you add up the numbers, and I just want you to practice for today, and tomorrow we're going to go back to using the inverse operations. Okay, this is our Tuesday video. So today we're going to be on page 49 in your book. We're going to be looking at using inverse operations. So we're going to do just what we did the other day when we practiced this. So let's practice a couple on here. Today you're going to do 12 through 15. So let's do one like this. 973 minus 261. First, I start off and just subtract like normal. 3 minus 1 is 2. 7 minus 6 is 1. 9 minus 2 is 7. So to check this, since it's subtraction, I want to do the opposite, which is addition. I'm going to add these two numbers up. If I am correct, I should get 973. So let's add 261 and 712. 2 plus 1 is 3. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So I get 973, so I know my answer is correct. Let's try another one. It might seem like it's a long process, but you really need to check your work. That's going to help you on your test. Make sure that you're not missing any because of silly mistakes. So let's do an addition one this time. 222 plus 404. Okay, let's add it up. 4 plus 2 is 6. 2 plus 0 is 2. Sorry, that was a plus. And 4 plus 2 is 6. This was an addition problem, so I need to do the opposite, which is subtracting. I'm going to subtract 626 minus 404. Remember, when you're subtracting, your bigger number always goes on top. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 0 is 2. And 6 minus 4 is 2. So I got 222, which shows me that my answer is correct. Okay, let's try more. Remember, you're doing the opposite of whatever problem they give you. So first you're solving it, then you're checking it. Let's try 559 minus 422. Okay, 9 minus 2 is 7. 5 minus 2 is 3. 5 minus 4 is 1. That was a subtraction problem, so the opposite, I'm going to add it up. 422, 137. So 7 plus 2, 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. I got the top answer, so I know I'm correct. So let's go back real quick, and let's go back and visit the steps and make sure we're understanding the steps. You can write these down if you need to. So the steps. Number 1 is do the problem. Whatever the problem is, addition or subtraction, you do what they're asking you to do. Number 2, do the opposite to check. That's how you're going to know if you got the answer correct or not. We're going to practice a couple more, and then I'm going to let you guys go on to some classwork for today, and we do have some homework tonight. It's a short week, though, so it should be pretty easy. You're already on the second day. Oops. Sometimes it erases and pops back up. Okay, so let's do 375 plus 501. Make sure you're lining them up correctly. 5 plus 1 is 6. 7 plus 0 is 7. 5 plus 3 is 8. Okay? I like to do my little arrow to the side. If that does not help you, then you do not have to do your little arrow, but it does help me, so I'm going to put my arrow here. I did addition. I need to do subtraction to check it. So 876 minus 501. 6 minus 1 is 5. 7 minus 0 is 7. And 8 minus 5 is 3. I check it. It is correct. So I'm done. Okay, so these are what you're going to do today. What you need to make sure you do is pay careful attention to the problem they're asking, whether it's addition or subtraction. You don't want to do the wrong one. So today you're going to do page 49, numbers 12 through 15 for classwork. Your homework is workbook, page 36, numbers 1 through 9. Don't do the last part of it, just do 1 through 9. We're not doing the bar models, so you don't need to worry about that, just 1 through 9. So this is what you're going to work on today. Remember, if you're ripping out part of your workbook, then you're not going to have it for the next week if it falls like that. So you might want to write your answers on notebook paper, or you can scan it and print it, whatever you want to do, okay? So this is the end of Tuesday's video, and I'll see you guys Wednesday. All right, this is our Wednesday video. Today we're going to go into subtraction. So we're going to get on to page 54 and 55. So give me just a second, and I'm going to get my book. I'm using the book online. If you can go on to Sadly or Connect, and they have a great website that goes with our book. And I like to use it to check out if they have games or anything like that. Sometimes they have some games you can play. I know for vocabulary, it has some practice flashcards, which is great. All right, so we're going to be on page 54 first. If you look at your book, it says, at the zoo, there are 326 mammals and 247 amphibians. How many more mammals are there than amphibians? The first thing I want you to know is how many more means subtract. Whenever you see how many more in a word problem, you're always going to subtract. So we have mammals and amphibians. We need to see how many more mammals there are than amphibians. So we're going to subtract them. So the book tells you to estimate. We're not going to estimate. We just want to focus on subtracting. I'm going to erase this real quick so I have some room. So the first thing we want to do is write down our steps. Steps are very helpful when you're doing math. So we're going to do step 1, subtract the ones, regroup the tens, okay? And just write these down if you need to, and I'm going to show you in just a second what all of this means. 2 is subtract the tens, regroup the 100s or hundreds. And then step 3 is subtract the hundreds. So these are our steps. We're going to follow the steps, and then we're going to check our answer to make sure it's correct. So what you can do right now is pause it and write down these steps. I'm going to move forward, but feel free to pause it and write down these steps and then continue when you're done. Okay, so let's write down how many mammals we have and how many amphibians we have. We have 326 mammals, 247 amphibians. First things first, make sure you line them up correctly. Make sure that you have your subtraction sign and make sure you have enough room to do your work. Then we can look at it. We always start, and I'm going to use red to show you, in our ones column. We need to look at our ones first. We also always make sure that the bigger number is on top. 326 is bigger than 247. The biggest number always goes on top. So I'm going to undo that, make it less cluttered. We look at this one first. We cannot do 6 minus 7. If I have 6 apples, I can't take away 7 apples. There's only 6. So what I have to do is borrow. So if you notice in your book, you borrow starting over here. So I'm going to look next door at my 2. If I need to borrow from my 2, I'm basically taking away 10. It's in the tens column, so I'm taking away 10. So I'm going to take away 10 from that and make it 1. I'm going to add 10 to my 6 and make it a 16. Okay, then I'm going to move on and subtract that one. 16 minus 7 is 9. Well, now I get to 1 minus 4. I can't do 1 minus 4. So I need to borrow again from my last number, which is in my hundreds place. So I'm going to borrow from that. I'm going to make that a 2. I'm going to take my 1 and add 10 to that and make it an 11. Sorry. Make it 11. So what I did was I did 1 minus 4. I can't do that. So I'm going to go next door to the 3. I'm going to borrow from it. So I'm basically taking 100 from it and using that to add over in my tens column. So I'm going to cross out the 3, make it a 2. You make it 1 less number. And I add 10 to that 1 and make it 11. Now I can subtract. 11 minus 4 is 7. 2 minus 2 is 0. I can leave it. So now I'm going to go and check it. So the way I check it is I can add these 2 numbers, which is what we did the other day. So I'm going to check, and it's going to be in black here. So let's do 247 plus 79. So we need to add, and if you look in your book, it shows you when you added 9 plus 7. They put their 79 on top. You definitely don't have to do that. I prefer to have my bigger numbers on top, but it's up to you. Remember, commutative property, it doesn't matter what order they're in. 7 plus 9 is 16. I'm going to carry my 1. 7 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus 1 is 12. Carry my 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. So I get 326, which is my original problem, so I know I'm correct. I know that was a lot, so let's look again. We're going to do this over and over and over. We're going to get it all together. All right, we're going to practice another one. It is going to take up a lot of room on your paper, and that's fine. Let's do 418 minus 134. This one's different, so look at this one. I'm going to start in my ones column. On this one, I can do 8 minus 4. I don't need to borrow. 8 minus 4 is 4. I can just subtract. I don't have to borrow there because you can subtract 4 from 8. So let's look into our next column. I have a 1 minus a 3. I cannot do that. So I need to borrow from my 4, make it a 3, and add 10 to my 1 and make it 11. Then I can subtract. 11 minus 3 is 8. 3 minus 1 is 2. Then I can check it by adding these two numbers. 134, 284. And if I'm correct, I should get 418. So let's see if I did it right. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is, 11. I got sidetracked. 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. So I am correct, and I know that I can move on knowing that I'm fully correct on that one. Okay, so let me look and let's do some more. These are just like the addition. The more you practice, the more you're going to understand it. We're doing this in 4th grade right now too, so this is not something that's going to go away. You're going to have to do it for a while. So next, let's do 793 minus 245. So let's check in our ones column. I cannot do 3 minus 5, so I need to borrow. I'm going to borrow from my 9 and make it an 8, add a 10 to my 3, and make it a 13. So let's go ahead and subtract those. 13 minus 5 is 8. 8 minus 4, is 4. 7 minus 2 is 5. 548. So let's double check. 245 plus 548. 8 plus 5 is 13. Carry the 1. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. 5 plus 2 is 7. So I'm correct. Okay? So let's do another one. The more you do, the better you'll be at subtracting. And eventually you're going to get where we borrow and borrow and borrow more and more. Okay, so next let's do 329 minus 165. So I start in my ones column. 9 minus 5, I can do that. I don't have to borrow. So I'm not going to borrow. If you start to borrow when you don't need to, you're going to get the wrong answer. So 9 minus 5 is 4. Move on to our tens column. I cannot do 2 minus 6. I need to borrow. So I'm going to borrow from that 3, make it a 2, add 10 to my 2, and make it a 12. Now I can subtract. 12 minus 6 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. So let's add. We need to check our answer. 5 plus 4 is 9. 6 plus 6 is 12. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So I'm correct. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to let you start on your classwork. And you do have some homework tonight as well to practice. You need to practice. So your classwork tonight, or today, I'm sorry, is not your workbook. It's page 55, number 7 through 11. And homework is workbook page 39. Okay, so that's what you're doing today. Practice, practice, practice these, and the more you do it, the better you'll be. Okay, Thursday video today is your last day of the week because we're out of school on Friday. What we're going to do today is do our election math like we usually do on Fridays, except this time we're going to do it on Thursday. So the first thing you have today is a little thing that maps out the election process, and it looks like this. It's blurry, I'm sorry. It is that way because I had to screenshot it and it made it super blurry. It is like easy to read though, I guess, in a way. You can read it. So let's look at that. The presidential election process. So the primary process starts in January and it goes to June. That is when a candidate announces that they're going to run for office. Then they have to have a nomination campaign. They have to be nominated to actually be president. So they work hard, they get their name out, they have people pass out flyers, maybe some posters and yard signs, and they get people to understand that they're running for president. A caucus is where people in their local areas get together and they choose who they want to represent them. A primary election is where you vote on who is going to actually run for president. You have 2 or 3 Democrats running, and the same for Republicans and the other parties. They run against each other, and whoever wins for their party is the one that wins the right to run for president. National convention is in the summer. This is where they get together and they kind of nominate officially the person who's going to run for president. Then we get to the final process, September to January. That's where we are now. We're in October, so we're right in the middle. This is where they give campaigns and they debate each other. Campaigning is when you make commercials on TV, you put out posters and flyers, and you go out and meet people so that you can ask them to vote for you. The debate is where they talk about important issues, and I know that you've seen that all over the news and the TV recently. The election is in November. That's when people go out and vote. The Electoral College is in December. That's when people who are called electors cast their votes, and the person who is to become president has to have 270 electoral votes. And then finally, the inauguration is in January, and that was when the person officially becomes president of the United States. I don't expect you guys to understand or remember that all. It's just something I wanted you to look at. Today, you're also going to look at a character trait worksheet. So we decided that we're going to vote Harry Potter against Captain America. So what I have here, and this is what you're going to have in your packet, is character traits, and it has a chart, Harry Potter and Captain America. So I want you to come up with traits for both of them. If you don't know who one of these characters is, you can look them up online and learn a little bit about them. So write down things about Harry Potter that would make him a good candidate, and the same for Captain America. The goal is we want to pick the best candidate to be our president. So write down some things about them. Are they nice? Are they hardworking? Things like that. And then finally, I want you to take a white piece of paper and make a campaign poster. So your white paper, let's pretend that's your paper, you're going to make a campaign poster for your character. So you could say, vote Harry Potter for president, and then you could draw a lightning symbol, you can write some of your character traits on it. You can make it look really nice. Remember, the nicer it looks, the more likely it is someone's going to vote for you. I'm going to take yours and we're going to hang them up in the classroom along with the others so that we can have a little campaign poster in our classroom so that we can get ready for the actual election on the 3rd. Okay, so this is all you have for this week. Have fun with the election Friday stuff. Just think about some good things about Harry Potter and Captain America and make a really cool campaign poster. If you guys have any questions, let me know.